welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a quick mystery pick a card reading. What do you need to know today, the day that you find this video, whenever that is. So go ahead and choose from the following decks, pile 1, 2, or 3. And I'm just going to use that specific deck to pull a few cards and see what you need to know today, whenever you find this. Let's start with pile number 1. See what we get. For pile number 1, what do they need to know today? What's significant about today? This was coming out turning upright, so I'm going to take it upright. What else? There's something about today where it's following a choice that you made. So it's like you made the choice and then this is what happens after. This is the, I don't want to say consequence because it doesn't feel like it's a bad thing, but consequence in a neutral term of just this is what happens. And being that the Wheel of Fortune is coming up, then that's definitely a good thing, or something you would perceive as good or positive. So you made the right choice is what I'm trying to say. Whatever choice you recently made, if nothing comes to mind, you don't have to think too hard or try to make it fit. But if you know, and this doesn't have to necessarily be like there were 2 options and you made the right choice. It can be that. It can also just be you chose to stay on a path rather than, like let's say you're committed to a specific path, but it's a challenging one and there's a lot of uncertainty and fears, and you know, you keep getting these little, you think of them like tests, like the universe giving you, well, what if you try this? But you just know that's not the right thing. And so you're like, no, that's not. And it's like these tempting little things that come up, but when you give them some thought, they don't align with your path. And so you're like, no, I'm gonna continue, I'm gonna commit and choose this path that I'm already on. I'm gonna see where it leads me. And so if that resonates, then that could be just you continuing. It could even be not necessarily one specific choice that you made, but this could also just be the choices you continue to make every day. Maybe you're doubting yourself, or you're doubting if what you're doing on a day-to-day basis is actually getting you to your goal, because I feel like well, first of all, it is, because you're following intuitive guidance. And when you follow intuitive guidance, there isn't always that physical evidence ready to confirm the choices you're making. So sometimes you have to, before you see that physical evidence, you have to trust that, like you have to get your validation from somewhere beyond the physical, because it just might not be there yet, or just not in the way that you're used to having physical results, if that makes sense. So whatever choice you've made, whatever path you've chosen, whatever you've chosen to commit to, and to be like, no, I'm going all in, this is my choice. There may be doubts and uncertainty, but there's something stronger telling me this is the right way or the right path. And you continuing to choose that is what's making all the difference. But I feel like what you need to know today is that because of your continuous making the right choice, or if you resonate more with just that, you know, that big like this or this, and you made the right choice, whatever you resonate with, because of you choosing to trust in your intuition and choosing to trust in that feeling that just felt more aligned than any physical options, you're now going to be reaping the rewards. And whenever this video reaches you, it is a day where things are going to be physically shifting. So you followed the path long enough where you weren't seeing the physical results, but now you're going to. You're going to actually get that validation. But it's because you've said energetically to spirit that you are choosing this, you're committing to it, even if there's something about marriage, like how you say, till death do us part, and like in sickness and in health. It's like, I don't know what will happen in life, but I'm choosing that no matter what happens, I'm gonna commit to you. So it's like you made that type of commitment to something, and you, without knowing what was gonna happen, and you let go of, well, I need to know first how it's gonna play out. You didn't know, you couldn't know, but you had to make a choice anyway. So you're gonna be receiving that validation back that you did make this right choice. And 444, you could be seeing that a lot. That is also to let you know, first of all, whenever you do see that, what were you thinking about right as you saw that? That's gonna be important. The other thing is, in all the ways that you need to feel safe or stable, whether that's physically, such as financial freedom or having close and healthy relationships with people around you, or just having good mental health, a good daily routine, whatever it is. That's the 444 are signs saying that is coming to you in all those areas and not just one. So I feel like you've had to give up that feeling of knowing you're safe, knowing you're stable, having everything. You've had to give up that certainty. And so that's what you're going to be getting back, because you chose to commit to something despite the circumstances. And now you're going to be receiving what you were willing to give up in order to pursue this path. So let's see if, okay, 2 more wanted to come up. 3 of, and it was always my manifestation card. So I kind of want to put this in the sun. There we go. That looks pretty. All right. So confirming that you are going to be that this is just a process of manifestation, and you could have gotten the message that how they say bigger things usually take bigger time to manifest, like when there are multiple people involved, when there are big moving pieces, when it's going to create a large shift in the world. Oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes it takes longer because the manifestation, whatever is going to happen, is so great, is so large. And that's the case for you with whatever you've committed to, whatever path you've committed to. And this is just that next part where it actually starts to physically unfold. Now, as this happens, there are parts of your past that are going to creep in and still attempt and try to hold you back or be like, but what if it doesn't work out? So right now, it's normal to be experiencing a lot of doubt, but that's why it's like you've already made the choice. So no matter what happens, you're committed, but you're going to be, every time a doubt comes up, it's going to be a feeling. It's not going to be a physical thing. So it's just going to be a feeling from the past, but the physical is going to prove to you, the physical is aligned with your future and what you're currently manifesting, not the past and what already has been, already was. So you'll notice a difference between how do my emotions feel versus how is my physical reality looking. So before it was kind of switched. You had to hold the emotions and the knowledge that things could be better, that there could be a different outcome than what you were physically experiencing. You chose to commit to that enough and have enough patience to where now the physical is responding to you. Yes, that is true. Like whatever you chose, I'm relaying that back to you. And then the emotional part is like the doubts, if that makes sense. It's switched, but that's okay. Don't overthink it. If you're having doubts or fears, it doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path, because again, you've chosen where you feel aligned to. And understand that for generations of humanity, it's been this, you could think of it like a curse or a spell that's been on humanity, where they believe that choosing what's aligned is going to risk their physical safety. So I can't have what I need, I can't survive and follow this path. But that was an illusion, that wasn't true. And you're breaking that illusion, not just for yourself and your lineage, but for the entire collective. And you're not completely alone in this. There are others in the collective who are doing this too, but you could be really spread around, like all around the world, to kind of help your general area of the collective. But just know that this is much bigger than just your own involvement in it, which is why it's felt so large and why it's taken so much time and it's had such heavy energy connected to it. But I'm being guided to tell you thank you for your service to humanity and to the collective, because you did at some point choose and volunteer to do this out of, the goodness, the love you had for everyone else who is also part of you. And so the message to you is thank you for your work. It's all about to pay off. All right. Thank you so much, pile 1. That was your reading. You can like and subscribe to see more of my content, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. All right, pile 2. Let's see what comes up for you. What does pile 2 need to know today? So the reclusive fool, step away from solitude, or step away from the world and seek solitude. That's coming up in reverse. Have mercy. So there might be someone you need to forgive, someone you've been ignoring or cutting off energetically. And if you've been doing this for your own mental health, I'm not encouraging you to give them your energy and attention again, but this is saying, so it's probably not that type of situation, but there is something where this could even be you. Maybe you need to forgive yourself for something. Maybe you were really hard on yourself. Maybe, okay, I'm getting a specific storyline that you could have been someone who had a period in your life where you were very free, very, like, not really thinking too much about consequences or the future, or you were just living in the moment, very free, not worried about tomorrow. And maybe in that time, certain actions caused, like, you're judging yourself for that time and thinking, oh, that's what I get for feeling free and for just living in the moment and not worrying. But there's something you need to know about that, where you didn't do anything wrong by being in the moment and not worrying about tomorrow, because that in itself, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing unhealthy about that behavior. And while it may have felt like that's what you were doing, you were also there was something you were trying to escape or avoid and deny and just cut yourself off from. So that was why, like, if you're facing some consequences from that time, it's not from the freedom or from you having an open mind or an open heart. It's from you trying to deny or hide or ignore something. So you need to be easier on yourself, or I feel like this is more geared to yourself and probably not about someone else. You'll know if it is. But this is like you being too hard on yourself because you think you messed up. But understand, even that time was all part of your journey, part of your story, part of alignment. You could be seeing 2, 2, 2, 12, 22, anything like that, 1s and 2s together. But you need to understand that, like, if you ever judge yourself for something in your past, then there's still a part of you that's unhealed, because otherwise you wouldn't judge yourself. You would completely unconditionally love yourself and accept every stage of your journey and know that in any given time you're always doing the best that you know how to with what you've got. Or, like, it's not even possible to do worse than your best, because even your own brain, it will tell you in every moment, your brain, your soul, your spirit, your body combined, doing the best it can in every moment. It can't not do the best. So you can't expect more than your full capacity at any given moment. And you may be expecting that of yourself and feeling like maybe your life is different now and you've moved on, but you feel like you still have some type of regret or some type of harsh feelings towards yourself for a time, but you're incorrectly thinking, oh, I was wrong for being carefree. I was wrong for trusting. I was wrong for having my heart be open. But no, you were just, there's nothing wrong about it, first of all. But the issue was whatever you were running from. But I feel like you've healed that, and now you're a little bit afraid to go out into the world and to be carefree again, because you're thinking, if I'm carefree again, it's all going to go bad. But it's not, because like I said, you've healed whatever you were running from. As long as you're, like, let's take partying as an example. If you're partying, drinking, all of that, there's a difference between your intention being, I just want to have a good time, I just want to let loose a bit and just be in the moment, versus I don't want to think about something in my reality, so I'm going to do whatever I can to distract myself and pretend that it's not there and get into a different state of mind. They're two completely different things that can look the same on the outside. So as long as whatever you're doing, if you're relaxing, partying, letting go, being carefree, as long as you're doing it with the intention of, this is something I want, and not, this is something I'm choosing instead of what I really need to be doing, or instead of where I really need to be focusing, that's what's going to make the difference. So you don't have anything to fear, because you're at the place or at the stage where you're not gonna run. Like if you notice something, you're gonna be like, okay, I need to heal that right away because I don't want to carry this with me. So you can feel safe going back out into the world, opening yourself up again to new experiences and new adventures, knowing now you can enjoy it without having to like wake up the next day and then be faced with all the things you were running from, because there's nothing that you're running from. So let's see anything else. Always think before you act. This is more about you being really hard on yourself and thinking that there's still a lot of fear when it comes to letting go and letting loose, because you're so afraid you'll do or say something that you're gonna regret. But there's a need for you to understand that you're protected even by your own higher spirit. When you are letting loose and being human, as you might call it, it's like, that's just, people have really demonized being human and the feelings and emotions that it comes with. But this is just as much a part of a spiritual experience as anything non-physical. So it's like you're overthinking everything because you think that's what's gonna protect you. But overthinking isn't gonna serve you. It's just gonna give you more time to think of what could go wrong and giving more energy to that. So right now you're encouraged, whenever you come across this message or this video, to get out of your head, get into your body, and just move. Like if you just wanna go out dancing for a night, or if you wanna go hang out with your friends, and whatever you need to do that, and don't let your thoughts from the past get in. And it's like you have this inner critic that's like very judgmental of anything you do. Okay, here's the last message coming through for you. Your guides, your whatever you connect to for guidance, like your angels, guides, whatever, they're there to help you. If there's a voice in your head that's not helpful, you can fire it. You can let it go. You can say, all right, whatever you think you're doing, you're not helping me, and I'm open to a new guide. Like you can fire your guides and you can hire a new one and just be like, all right, I'm open to a new one who's more aligned with where I'm going than where I've been. And you know, it doesn't have to be hard feelings towards that voice in your head, because it is still in its own way trying to help you, but it's very limited. Its perspective is too limited and you've outgrown it. And so there's nothing it can do but hold you back at this point. So don't be afraid to disconnect from those entities or those guides, or if they just feel like part of your own mind, don't feel afraid to disconnect with the ones that just don't align with you and don't help you and don't encourage you and put you at ease, because they're not in alignment with you anymore. So that's all I'm getting for you, pile 2. Thank you so much for watching. And if you'd like to see more content of mine, you can like and subscribe. Until then, I will see you next time. Goodbye. All right. Pile number 3 shows this deck. Let's see. Whenever you come across this reading for the day, what is your message today? What do you need to know? So that song comes to mind from Cinderella. A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. Okay, you can look up the song to know the words, but it's basically saying, the part that's coming to mind is, I'm trying to think of it without singing, it's really hard. Have faith in your dreams, and someday your rainbow will come smiling through. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dreams that you dream will come true. So that part specifically, sorry it took me a minute, is coming through, and maybe you know that song, maybe you've never heard of it, maybe you don't care about it, but it's just about being in that energy of believing your dreams can come true, and believing that they're not miles and eons away, but they're actually maybe just right around the corner. Staying in that energy. Right now you could be teetering, is the word I heard, between your past, which was very hurtful, very harmful, and versus your future. So you're someone who's experienced high highs and low lows, and maybe you're better than others at remaining hopeful or remaining positive, like no matter what you experience. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that it's easy for you. It's because you choose to be that way. You could be seeing 2020, 2020, or zeros and twos. But this is encouraging you. Okay, you need to know you can both feel pain and the pain and the heartbreak of your past while simultaneously holding hope for the future. You don't have to choose one or be all in one. And in fact, there's something about, okay, if you know how to drive a stick shift, and if you don't, it's more complicated than just the gas and the brake. There's also the clutch. So whenever you're shifting gears, you have to have your foot on the clutch, and you have to at the same time release your foot off the clutch and put your foot on the brake at like in a balanced way so that the car doesn't die and you have to start it over again. But there's something about that, because it's like this balance between allowing yourself to work through, like not trying to deny or push away the fears from the past, allowing them to come and go through you, but at the same time holding hope for the future. And when you can, it takes a special being to be able to hold both of these frequencies at the same time. But if you can, it's very powerful. So I don't know why it's showing me like driving a stick shift of like having to have that balance between both, having your foot on both at the same time. And it's not one or the other, but it's like that perfect switch off and balance. And there's something about it being very powerful, like being just the right ingredient or just the right amount, something like that. And like I said, not many people can hold both of these frequencies. So it is a gift and a power that you can. So instead of trying to be like, I need to be completely hopeful and not have any doubts or any fears, that's maybe your mindset right now whenever you come across this, is like trying to completely eliminate your doubt. But maybe you're not supposed to. Maybe you're supposed to allow yourself to experience it while at the same time holding hope, because there's something about having that low and that high at the same time that it's like you're creating this bridge or this channel between worlds. And something I said in the first pile was like, what you're doing, it feels like it's for yourself, and it is, but you're also doing this for the collective. So it's on a greater scale than just for one soul or spirit. So being able, whatever you're feeling right now, you could be feeling a lot of things. You could be feeling whatever you're feeling, it's intense high, intense low, intense confusion, intense doubt, intense hope, whatever it is, it's a lot. And I think you're trying to be like, okay, this is good to feel, this is not, I need more of this, I need less of this. But the suggestion here, and it's not telling you you have to do this, it's just suggesting, just ask yourself, what if everything I'm feeling right now is supposed to be? What if I'm supposed to be, what if I'm powerful enough to hold these frequencies while knowing it's not true, but still allowing it to pass through me, and knowing that an aspect of myself believed it was true, and in that way it is true. There's no falseness, it's all truth flowing through me. I hope you're understanding. So instead of trying to fight certain feelings away or ignore them away, maybe just for a minute being at peace with where you are and whatever you feel, whether you perceive that as positive or negative, just holding space for that. Because again, they're wanting me to say it takes a very powerful, special soul entity, meaning you, to be able to hold such deep sadness, pain, doubt, but at the same time holding hope and faith in such a high degree. Because it's a lot easier to believe in something when you don't also have that power of doubt holding you down. Almost anyone can believe when they don't have doubt. It's not so much of a challenge. But because you're doing this, it's strengthening or stretching some type of muscle within you, spiritual muscle, that is not only going to serve you greatly in your future, but it's going to serve humanity. You're helping show people There are no wrong feelings, and you are not your feelings. And you can still choose to feel certain things while you're feeling other things that you would rather choose not to feel. You don't have to be completely 100% certain that everything's going to work out for it to work out. You can just match. That's the thing. You're matching the energy. So let's say there was a scale from 0 to 10. If you're feeling 7 of down, depression, hopelessness, you're making sure you feel at least 7 or greater of also hope and positivity. And it's just about not needing to completely eliminate that doubt for it to still come true. For it, not the doubt, but the whatever you're hoping for. So this is a very specific pile. I feel like you'll know if it's for you, you're going to definitely resonate. What else for pile 3? So you don't see it now because you're still kind of in the emotional phase of it. But what you're creating is something that's going to change the world. It's going to shape the world specifically, like mold it in a specific mold that it's meant to go, is the next phase for the collective, for whatever earth realm you find yourself on. You are actively molding it to, it's like you're a spiritual architect, or like, I don't know if you would be the architect or the engineer, but it's like you have the probably the engineer, I think, I'm not sure. You have the blueprints and you're molding it to what spirit has told you it's supposed to be. You're like, or maybe you're the builder. I really don't know. But you're making it happen. You're creating it. You're taking the instructions, taking the blueprints, and you're making it into a physical thing. You are bridging the gap. You are the bridge. You are the channel. You are the force that's bringing one world to another. One higher dimensional world, you're bringing it here to earth, to a lower dimensional world. You're creating that bridge. So when you're feeling both things, when you're feeling the highs, the high highs, that's from what you're bringing in. And the low lows, that's what you're bringing it to. So like if the earth, again, let's use a scale 1 to 10, was vibrating at, let's say, a 3, you're bringing like number 9 energy down to it so it can vibrate at like a 5 now, if that makes sense. So that's why you have to feel both parts, because you are the bridge, and the bridge is connected to both parts. The channel is connected to both parts. If you were to completely cut off from the lower part, you wouldn't be the bridge anymore. So accept what you're feeling. You're doing great work for humanity. And like I said in pile 1, and I'll say to you, thank you for the work you're doing, but I feel like you don't even care. You're like, I'm in it. Like if a mother is about to give birth, she doesn't want to hear like, thank you for what you're doing. You're bringing the human into, they're like, I don't care. Just let me focus on my work, because I'm in it. I'm in the thick of it. So this isn't going to last. Whatever you're in, whatever you're dealing with, this bridge that you're having to be, this is temporary, and it's quickly happening. So it's not something you're going to have to hold forever or even for a long time. Even if you have been holding it for a long time, that time is ending, and it's all gonna unfold and you're gonna see it. But I feel like you just need to release. You're like, okay, I just need to focus on what I'm doing and where I'm at and hold this and be this bridge. So that's all I'm getting for you, pile 3. Thank you so much for watching. Also, if you are drawn to pile 1, also definitely watch that too. If you'd like to see more of my content, you can like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.